Hi, everyone. So, good evening, everyone. Can you hear me clearly? If so, please give me a quick thumbs up.
Um,
Oh, Julie, you
um,
can turn off the audio.
Audio.
Mm-hmm. You can turn off the audio for now.
Uh, yeah, sure.
Okay, good. So now I would like to move on to the housekeeping. Um, can you show the screen? All right, so before we begin, I would like to explain the housekeeping. So this event will be recorded and we kindly ask for your understanding and cooperation. And during the event, please keep your microphone muted and your camera on. If you prefer not to appear in any screenshots taken during this session, we kindly ask that you join with your camera turned off. For questions or assistance, please use the chat box. Kindly keep messages relevant to the session. When the presentation starts, a timer may appear on your screen. Kindly disregard it as it is only applicable for speakers. So, thank you. Yeah, now we can close yeah. Thank you so much for joining our event, Discovering Community. My name is Yuka Vandenhoek, and I'm honored to welcome you to this MPAS Global Storytelling session. The theme of the event is When You Truly Listen to Someone's Lived Experience, Our World Expands. Tonight, we're connecting across borders, cultures, and personal histories, not through theory, but through human stories. Each correspondent here has chosen a moment that changed the way they see life. It doesn't have to be a dramatic event, sometimes a quiet moment, a culture clash, a failure, a conversation becomes a turning point that shapes our values. As you listen, I invite you to focus not only on what happened, but on what it meant. Every story tonight carries a piece of cultural wisdom from the speaker's home country, shared by upbringing, expectations, education, and the unique rhythm of the society. Thank you again for joining here. Let's begin our journey. So, each correspondent will have 10 minutes. Please feel free to type your question in the chat box at any time. Let's begin with the first correspondent. So our first speaker is correspondent number one, Julie, sharing a story. So Julie, please share your screen and go ahead.
Hi, I'm Julie. I'm from Melbourne, Australia. A very popular place with Japanese. There's about 20,000 Japanese at any given one time in the city of Melbourne. Many of them are English students, some are long-term university students, and then there are some who are short-term. And there's the working visas as well. This is a picture of me in 2020. Oh gosh, 2025 in Kichijoji, Tokyo. This is a part of the returnee events that happened during Golden Week. But to go back to in the how I met them, I met quite a few of them through conferences. So I have a friends that lived in Japan. They were from Fukuoka. Um, for those who don't know where that is, that's southern Japan. It was a slow start getting to know them, and I it was a very short period of time I visited. They suggested I use Hello Talk. It was a slow start, getting to know the Japanese in this sense. Hello Talk is the biggest cultural app on the planet. Many Japanese use it, particularly in the ages of 20, although there are some in my age bracket that like it as well. Our journey started back in 2018 when we first visited, and that was Fukuoka. Unfortunately, as we were thinking of moving to Japan, COVID happened. So meeting them again didn't start until 2 years ago. We got the opportunity to collaborate with Cross Culture Japan in Melbourne. And once the Japanese knew we could show them around, we had many that we got to meet. So basically, I meet them on Hello Talk. We form a relationship, and then we take them to coffee. They get to have cappuccinos, eat meat pies, experience Melbourne. They love it. And then we take them to English conversation. Um, so this is Hinata. She's a barista or was a barista in Melbourne. She has since returned to Japan. Um, so we get to show them best of Melbourne, help them to learn English, invite them to outdoor events. So we don't have technical leaders anymore. So I run many of the social events. Uh, Bushwalking, hiking, and exploring Melbourne. Cross culture offers English conversation, Ego no Kaiwa. It's very popular amongst Japanese, and they also meet other nationalities in another event that they also hold on Thursday nights called English Corner. So that's open to everyone. But Japanese do prefer to converse with us and with other Japanese. For most of these Japanese, they connections help them form great friendships. Hinata was one of my Hello Talk friends. So I generally take them out for lunch and then they come to this and they can come to other events as well. Um, Japanese often experience culture shock, especially if their English is not strong and they have no contacts in Australia, which is pretty much most of them. The other issues are the cost of food, transport, and the difficulties living in share houses. I've heard many a horror story about people having things stolen. Other Japanese people wouldn't talk to them, so they felt very lonely. Although at the start they often enjoy the fun experiences of being in Australia, the difficulties can overwhelm them. Staying in contact with me and other friends they meet at cross culture help them to overcome the sadness of being so far from home. We also provide them with some practical help, especially if they choose to live in Melbourne, which some of them do. And if they're working visa or they're English students that can work, we also help them look for help them get some job experience, like what jobs they can apply for, try to find them secure housing and how to save money, which is not easy in Melbourne. This is a picture of mountains near Geelong. This is one of the big hiking. I couldn't do it because I had lung issues at the time, but they really loved it. It was a very hot day. So saying goodbye is difficult for our friends. They enjoy the relaxed environment of Australia while negotiating the language difficulties. Before they leave our shores, we put on a party for them, which is one we held at this event. These occasions are full of emotion for all of us as we form so many enduring relationships. For some of us, we stay in contact via line for the most part and invite them to the Global Returning Conference, which is every 2 years in Yamanashi Prefecture. It's very useful for them, actually. It's an exciting opportunity to catch up with friends that they haven't seen in a long time. This is a picture of the old event last year at Fujiyoshida. That hotel is now sold, and they're looking for a new venue for the north in Yamanashi Prefecture. Every 2 years, a global returning conference is held in the Yamanashi Prefecture. Not only is it a great opportunity for Japanese to reconnect with their foreign friends, it helps them to know they are not alone in their journey. So a lot of Japanese also go to England, Canada, US. It is organised by a few Japanese organisations that assist the returning Japanese to acclimatise back to living in their home country. Last year, Australia was the focus. We called it Melbourne Initiative, and we participated in many of the activities, including tasting Vegemite. um, and our hope for Japan into the future, while we enjoy our relationship with the Japanese in Australia, our dream is to move to the land of the rising sun. We understand the challenges for Japanese within their own country, and we see our role to expand much of what we've learned in Melbourne. Um, the areas we would like to offer support in would be the youth, the elderly, and the vulnerable. So I often get told from my Hello Talk friends that I know more about Japan culture than they do. So I keep in contact using NHK News via Facebook. I also get Extra Times, which is another email service that's Japanese news, and yeah, there's a few others that I use as well. Yeah, so we keep in contact with them. So last year when I went to GRC or Griko, as it's called in Japan, I met a total of 7 Japanese. So my itinerary was quite tight. Next year is going to be no different. And yeah, so, but with flights and everything the way they are, unfortunately, we have very little time in Tokyo and Chiba. It'll be more Yamanashi, Yokohama, and Osaka because I got complaints from my LA Talk friends saying, "Why don't you come the other side?" And I'm like, "You only got so much time when you're in Japan, and because of the cost and how much time my husband can have away." Um, yeah, it's been a really big labor of love, actually. It's not only brought me to these people, but this is how I met Hiro-san through Hello Talk, and a lot of it's changed my life. So yeah, if I had have spoken to younger me, I probably would have laughed if this was going to be part of my future. So when I'm not doing all of this, I'm doing blogs about Japan, YouTube as well. I do cooking. Um, so if you want any cooking recipes, you can just check it out. And yeah, we often have to travel to as well to promote Japan and missions in Melbourne. Yeah, it's still Japan and Australia has a long way to go still though, because there's just so much that we don't know. And I know the Japanese think that, you know, Melbourne's fun and all, and it's not expensive. They get a bit of a rude shock when they come to Melbourne. Our biggest complaint is that the trains are too slow. And but yeah, where we go and have the events is Melbourne Central, which is known as Little Japan, and it kind of makes them feel a little bit more at home. So that's just a small snapshot. If you want any links to any of the stuff that we do, let me know. That's it.
Thank you so much, Julie. Wonderful presentation. Especially, I like the presentation that talked about like the common struggles that the normal Japanese face. For example, the language ability, like not to be able to communicate with the local people, and then sharing rooms, and then they have to, living in a compact area, and then also not having enough savings, and then they need to do the job hunting, which is very limited, like a lot of struggles that I could learn. So now I'd like to take a moment to take a question from the audience. So who wants to go first? All right, go ahead.
Julie, how much time does a Japanese person is taking to find a job? Do you
Mm.
know?
Yeah, good question. Unlike a lot of places with since the pandemic, I think the conservative figures are 40% of offices are still operating in Melbourne. There's a lot of
Okay.
pushback when it comes to going back into normal work life. This actually impacts the Japanese and cross culture directly because, like this, the city's jumping on Friday night, Saturday, Sunday, but the rest of the week not so much. And it
Mm.
kind of is hard for us because when we put events on, they want to come, but their bosses are telling them, look, you've got to be in the restaurant or you've got to be at the cafe or whatever it is. And the bigger problem is, of course, people don't want to go back to work in Melbourne. There's still a
Oh,
lot of pushback.
Mm.
I have to work from home because I'm a tutor, but I never agree with working from home if you can, your home is your relaxed place, not your
Mm.
workplace. So
Mm.
yeah, it is difficult for them. And obviously, like for me, if I wanted to move to Japan, it's like I'm studying like mad.
I
So yeah,
understand.
it's the same for them. And yeah, they read better than they speak, but unfortunately, that doesn't fly with
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
employers.
Thank you
Okay,
so much. So
thank
how
you.
about how about other people?
Yes.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you, Julie. Um, like my family live in Melbourne, right? And I'd like to say, yeah, Melbourne is maybe not really extremely fun for sightseeing, but people for living, it's very you feel content, satisfied, and you have greens just nearby you. You have comfortable events, and no wonder, Melbourne and maybe in Canada, Vancouver is one of the very lively city. Yeah. So please come to Melbourne for stay a week and comfortable place.
Yeah,
Mm. And
Julie is
yeah, and Julie, thank you very much. You're so much looking after the Japanese students.
yeah.
On behalf of Japanese students, Japanese, thank you very much.
Yeah, I want to say thank you too. It's like you are being a parent.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
My pleasure. Yeah, the biggest challenge, the other challenge is, of course, is that I have other people who do what I do in other parts of Australia, and they've only been doing this for a short period of time, and their biggest complaint is, why do the Japanese not continue conversations? It's like
Mm.
it stops all of a sudden without any warning,
Mm.
and I'm used to it because I've been doing this for 7 years. But for them, they're only new and they go, why does it happen? Have I done something wrong? Have I said something wrong? And I'm like, it's like a slow burn. You've got to use patience and be guided by their schedules and their thoughts and their feelings. I had one guy from Nagano who's doing his master's, and he hadn't spoken to me for over nearly a year. And he just got back to me saying how lonely he was and that he wasn't in a good place. And then he said, thank you, you guys, thank you so much for your helping me when I was in Melbourne. I miss you guys so much. I can't wait for you to come to Japan next year for Greco and to hang out. And I'm like, oh, I try not to cry.
Thank you so much, Julie, and thank you so much, Hiro-san. And then let's move on to the correspondent number two. Kathy, are you ready?
Yes, yes, I'm ready. Give me a minute. I don't know if you can see this. Hello, everyone. I'm called Catherine. I'm the correspondent from Tanzania. I live in Arusha, the Switzerland. We call it the Switzerland of Africa. The weather is perfect. It's really beautiful, and yeah, we like it here. So, I'll start with my background. I was born in the middle of a raging war in Uganda. I'm originally from Uganda. And this was the backdrop of my life for the first 13 years or so. Um, I once I recall, I'm told by my parent, I don't know if she's online, when I was about 6 months or so, um, we were caught up in a firefight. So all that, I'm just giving this as a background. I lost my father at 9, so I was raised by my mother who tried to give my siblings and I the best. Those were the days before social media or much internet. So I really didn't see anything of the outside world. Maybe in the newspapers, you don't know what's happening. And all this changed when I was 9, 10, a relative came after the death of my father. Um, one of his brothers was living in Canada by then, and he came to to give his apologies also, and he brought books, he brought stories of what the Western world is like. He brought us gifts from Canada, and to us this was a novelty, and this came in the backdrop of a culture and a community whereby our home was always full. We lived in Kampala at that point in time, and most of the people from my community in another part of the country who are in the war zone would just hear, oh, there's somebody from our community here, and they would turn up at your doorstep. You can't turn them away. You have to host them. So it made me more comfortable staying with different people from different backgrounds. So after my uncle left, there was a promise. They said, oh, if you perform well, you'll come to Canada. So it made me work extra hard, and I moved to the university. But, long story short, after university, I tried to, I wanted to see more because he had put in that um, the urge, the zeal and seeing more of the world. So I moved on. But that is just a part of the story. The real story is in Tanzania. I moved in 2009. And when I came for the visit, at first it was just a curiosity thing. I wanted a change from my country. And then I fell in love with it. This country has a lot of beauty. If you want the ocean, you have Zanzibar. If you want the animals, you have Serengeti, which is one of the world's wonders, the original 7 wonders of the world. So when I got into the country, I discovered something else. I discovered when I came here, it was not just a country. There's a rhythm. This land, Tanzania, is built on a sense of community, communal survival, and this is brought together by a common language, Swahili. Despite having 120 or so languages, everybody here speaks Swahili. It is the official language of the country. Now, Swahili dictates how everybody reacts to the other, how life moves on, how we live with each other, how we greet each other, how we carry ourselves within this community. Nobody here rushes. I think I would maybe mention Hero has had experience with that at some point. Uh, you ask for something and someone will give you so maybe I'll do it tomorrow, and it will take 3 months to get an answer back. And when I came in here, it was a bit of a culture shock for me. But quickly it involved me, the country involved me, it became warm, I loved it, and I decided to embrace it. One of my early culture shocks, which I will mention here because I can never forget it. It's one of those things that really touched me. The Swahili language, quite rich. Karibu, karibu is the word that says welcome. Each time you greet somebody, you end it by karibu. Each time somebody's leaving, you say karibu tena, welcome again. It's a very polite language. So in my early days, I had a neighbor who didn't really have much. And each time by some coincidence, each time I would meet them, I would pass by their house. It would be the meal time. It would be one or so, and they'll be sharing a meal. And he would greet me. We go through the usual greetings, and then he'll tell me, Karibu chakula. Karibu chakula means welcome. Directly translated, it means welcome for the meal. So I would respond and say asante and walk away. But one day I was actually hungry, so I took him up on the offer and sat and took a seat and partook of the meal. And the atmosphere changed because these are people who didn't have much. Imagine parents and maybe 3, 4 children, and you have really small meal. So, and this is the visitor. In our African culture or the Tanzanian culture, the visitor gets the biggest portion. So I took the biggest portion, and they took it quite in stride. They didn't really show me anything, but I realized a few days after that, the atmosphere between the two of us kind of took down. Only then did I realize that that greeting was just a warm cultural habit. It was not a direct invitation. It's more of saying, I have the goodwill to feed you. I might not have the food enough, I may not be able to feed all. So all the Tanzanians knew it. I didn't know it. So I took it as a direct invitation. And then one thing I'd like to mention is language here is not just communication. It's also a means of building a relationship and humor and context at once. One of my another big cultural clash I had, I received a package from my and was told, oh, it took a few days, See, the first time the gentleman was, sir, there's no problem, you'll get your, each time I would call, the warmth kind of realized. By the third day or fourth day, he was more of, you'll get the parcel when you get it. So it taught me patience. It taught me patience, and it also realized that I also realized the community has a collective delivery of I would call it a silent weight of a traditional relational society. Most of public anger or criticism or something they see as pushing the norm is considered offensive. You might not be told verbally, but you'll see it in the way they react to you. And the unhurried, peaceful nature of the country also contributes all to this. So my parcel came after a week, and I had no option but to say, oh, asante, and I was told karibu tena. And I left the place vowing not to go back, but I still went back a month or so later when I needed another parcel. I said, okay, it will take another week, but at least I'll get it. My turning point came one Sunday afternoon. My car stalled in the middle of the road. I was quite anxious. Being a lady, you hear, the cultural perception is you don't know anything about vehicles. So I was quite worried what I would do in the middle of the road in traffic, rush hour. And three young men from the neighborhood appeared. They didn't ask me for money. They didn't say anything. They simply rolled their sleeves and began pushing the car into a shed. I recall it was a tree shed by the side of the road. And they kept asking their friends who knew about the engines. What could be the problem? What could have Mama? Because they called everybody here Mama. So what could Mama be having a problem with? And they fixed the problem. The car was fine, with time. And I realized the mistake. I realized you don't manage the situation. You manage the people. You have to manage the people to be able to manage the situation. How you talk to somebody, how you relate to somebody, or something like that. For example, if a transporter is late, it's more often because they're attending a neighbor's funeral or helping a sick relative, or something came up in the family that they think is more important than the rest. And Tanzania forced me to quit my ego also. I stopped trying to force the test. I finally learned to walk at theirs. I realized we live in a world with instant results and fast expectations. We forget that relationships are not forced. You have to take the time to build the relationship, to learn the language of the people around you, and to, like we say here, hakuna matata, like no problem, no worry. If it's to be, it will be. I think that is my story, Tanzania. Yeah.
Thank you,
Any
Cassie.
questions? You're
Thank you,
welcome.
Kathy. I really like the story, especially that the story that you told me that the culture and community is built based on the language. And as you mentioned, there are over 20 different languages, but then it seems like you are capable of using different languages, but there are main one, and then your story told me how important to really greet each other, like very simple thing, like introduce each other or hello to start building a relationship. Like when we think of the Japan, the situation, when I'm walking to the bus stop, I don't really see people saying hello to me. But then there are only one elderly that always say, "Hey, hello." So that makes me feel so happy. So your story reminded me that, greeting each other is something that, that we have to cherish more to really build the relationship, the community. That's the basic of the everything. Anyway, so I would like to take a question from the audience. Is there anybody who would like to ask questions to Kathy?
I do.
Go ahead.
Asante, Catherine. Uh, so after you went to university, did you decided to travel outside of Africa, or you stayed just in Africa?
After university, I experienced a crisis. I would call it a mental crisis at that point. I didn't know what to
Okay.
do. I didn't know myself,
Mm,
coupled with the fact that what I'd studied in university was not really practical. I just took the
mm,
first course I'd been offered. So I woke up one day and pinpointed a spot on the map, and it was Tanzania. That was the first
Ah,
country I took outside. But to answer your question, it was one of over 30. I've been to Europe. I've lived in Germany also.
okay.
So it was the opening, but it brought me back. I liked the calm here. So at
Ah,
that point, yeah, I only wanted to go to Africa. But later on, I saw something different. I met other people, and yes, it opened up my worldview. And I've traveled. I've been blessed. I've been almost everywhere. So yes,
that's
that's
I
wonderful.
awesome.
hope I've answered your question.
Yeah, that's a
Asante.
good
Yeah,
question.
yeah.
That's a good
Absolutely.
question.
My best friend is one of my best friend is from Tanzania, and
Mm,
I'm intending to go and visit her. She used to be in Canada, and she decided to take an early retirement, and she went
mm,
back home to work on the family farm.
okay.
I'm
Thank
quite
you so much.
thank you.
So
Karibu.
one more people, just quickly, maybe 2 minutes.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay,
Yuka-san.
go ahead.
Okay. Thank you, Catherine. Quick question. All right. Um, we Japanese don't have much idea about the culture in Africa, but we really are interested. And through Empath, I would like to you like a bridge between Japanese and culture in Africa, and I hope we have much communication Japanese and Africa. Um, yeah, that's what I really want to do with you. Thank you, Catherine.
Thank you.
Kathy, thank you so much for sharing all the things with us, like especially after the university and you kind of got depressed, and that's a path that everybody go through. But a lot of people hesitate to share. But then you did
Mhm.
share. So it's a great help for everybody to really realize life is not really easy time to time. So thank you so much for preparing the presentations. And then, yeah, I would like to go to the next speaker. So correspondent number, as we come to the end of our session, I want to take a moment to reflect on what we experienced tonight. To close the event, I would like to hear words from Hiro-san, founder of Empass. But after that, we would like to move on to the picture session, and then we are going to close and then say goodbye. So Hiro-san, please go ahead.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. First, Yuka-san, you leading this Discovery Community Festival. Thank you very much. I can see when you are really busy time, you still make effort and you still asking people how to do it. And behind of this, you really make effort. Thank you, Yuka-san. And also all the participants today. Juri-san, Keshi-san, and Joan-san, Himeno-san. I didn't know about that details. And I really love that. And how can I say? Even people asking question, and Marisa, you already asking many questions, good questions. And that's really make this session is a beautiful ambience. And maybe we experienced now, we are not sharing the idea, and we are not only connecting online, we are sharing this beautiful ambience. That's really inspire me or inspire everyone to do a good action and pursue something like a beautiful world. And that I would like to expand to other communities, other organizations, and other people. So this is really a prototype of the world happiness. Thank you.
Thank you, Hiro-san.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
I really
touched.
enjoyed. Thank you for giving me this chance to really organize this. And thank you so much again for speakers. You guys are amazing. All right. So, picture time. Dino-san, can you take a picture?
Can I add something?
Oh, sure.
Yes.
I just want to let you know, ladies, you did a very good presentation, all of you. And if you really want to master the art of public speaking, I strongly recommend that you join a Toastmasters club in your area. It's a non-profit organization that is in existence for over 100 years, created in 1932, and it helps individuals to present, to master the art of public speaking, and also help you with your leadership skills. When I moved from Montreal to Alberta, Quebec to Alberta, I joined a Toastmasters club, and I've been a member for the past 20 years. And if sometimes you see me comfortable, it's thanks to Toastmasters. I've been able to present in front of 800 people's groups, etc. So really, really important. It's going to help you a lot. And then reduce your stress level when you have and it's going to help you for the future, wherever you are, whether it's a private setting or professional setting. This is skills that you're going to take forever in your life. And
Thank you so much, Mari-san. Yeah, Mari-san's MC is amazing. One day I hope that everybody will experience it. I really like her MC. Yeah, thank you so much. Okay, the
Thank
picture
you.
time. So, Dino-san, can you do?
Yes. Smile, everyone. 1, 2, 3. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So this is it. And again, thank you so much for our
Thank you,
speakers.
Yuka-san.
Yeah,
Thank you,
bye-bye
speakers.
and see you soon.
Bye.
See you again.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Good weekend.
Good evening.
Bye.